your throat, pretty soon you don't like them, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna do that. Yeah, they do that. So you have to have an internal buffer. You have to actually like black people before you get started. Okay, here's what happened. And it happens up to now. It happens all around us and we can see it. Everybody, they overestimated boss man. What I mean is the people. Because you got to remember, when a white man says this, it's usually going to happen. And he has the whole system. He can mobilize his whole system against you, and you will be by your own black ass. That's what you're going to be. That's what it does. You got to be prepared for that, right? At first, after you watch people go through it, I watched a lot of our leaders go through it. I watched one of our famous imams, and it scarred him in a way. You get overseas in exile for helping black people, and they don't send you no money, they don't send you nothing, and you don't have no degree in international living, right? And you don't have no nothing. You're over there, and you just out of luck. So it forced you to come back here, where the boss man looking for you. So let me go on. They overestimated boss man. Now suppose boss man ain't never lost a fight before. That means everybody got confidence when it's something. If you're gonna bet on a fight, even if the odds are, bet on boss man, because boss man ain't lost no fight. That's the way they're looking at it. But they forget about Korea. He lost that. They forget about Vietnam. The people hanging on the embassy, hanging on helicopters in 75, trying to get away, right? And the boss man dropping them, said, y'all gotta stay here. He lost in Iraq, 2003. He lost in Afghanistan, bad. He just leaving Afghanistan. As soon as he leave, go down one block from Taliban and move right in, right behind him, or running them out. He went in Afghanistan 19 years ago. Now it's 20 years ago. Well, it's 19 plus. September 11th, he's supposed to be all gone. September 11th is what put him over there. So I remember I gave a talk on in mid-October. He was over there then, in 2001. He was in Iraq in 2003. He should have learned better. He didn't learn. The British went there and they got their clock clean. Khyber Pass got whooped bad. The Russians, just there, they got their butt kicked. They went in as a Soviet Union and they came out as Russia. Defeated, broken up. If everybody is calling Afghanistan the destroyer of empires, and it's just a little old raggedy looking place, they didn't have the right move. Y'all got just whooped for nothing, man. And then here they go, with their tail through their legs, trying to sneak out the side door. And everybody, is that you, boss man? Boss man, is that you? They dry snitching, talking loud.
Right.
Boss man, that ain't you trying to sneak out, is it? Yeah, it's him. It's him. So, they didn't overestimate boss man. We overestimate him because we're here with him. And we don't understand that when Allah is puffing you up, you're going to be puffed up and you're going to be moving up. When Allah pull the cord and start letting the air out of you, you're going to, and that's it. That is historical reality. Okay, now we know that and we act according to that. A lot of other people might know it, but they're going to be on a day-to-day program running their mouth and they ain't going to do nothing about it. They overestimated themselves. Who is they? All the people around us. All the Negroes. Can you imagine? The Negroes was here. You could ask them, why did y'all leave? See what they tell you. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Then, let's say you have seen certain things. Does what they say jive with reality? Probably it's ridiculous. But they left. Okay. They went about their business. Where are they at now? And where are we? This is a good question. So they overestimated themselves. They thought, if we're all over here saying this, giving this story, and he's over there by himself telling that story, they're gonna believe us. Right? I'm telling y'all it's crazy. So we gotta prolong it out year after year after year. Redundancy to show that they're liars. Not one time, that won't do. Over and over and over and over and over again. Well, they're redundant liars. Not only a liar here, a liar there, and then we get pictures with them just standing there lying. We got pictures with them doing such and such and such. We got all of that. We got stuff all on the internet. They said we got them on the phone bank saying stuff and doing stuff, right? Over and over and over again. And anybody look at that, they would say, Imam Musa, I wouldn't take that. That's too much. So don't worry about it. They're just talking, right? They're just talking. And now we'll go into a little bit of how we see it. Now, they underestimated Imam Musa. They underestimated us. They underestimated Masjid al-Islam. Should they do it? Yes, they should, because they've never seen anybody before survive. No party in America, when the United States government come up against it, none of them. Finished, all over. But we was watching all of that. We studied all of that in detail. And we come up with different things. So they underestimate us. Improper analysis of time, place, and circumstances. They made an improper analysis of the time that we're living in, the place that we're living in, and the circumstances. All of their analysis was incorrect and impossible for it to happen. All of our analysis, I'm sorry to say, were correct about the time we're living in. We're living in the time of the decline of the United States of America. That's all. Why, what do we figure it's a decline? Well, we got all kind of articles on Pax Romania, Pax Britannica, you know. We've studied, the Quran says travel in the earth and see what was the end of it. So we see the pattern. The pattern is here. Everybody can see it, but they don't understand it, or they don't believe it. We're living, reliving the same pattern. It's the sunnah of Allah. That's what it is. The pattern that exists is a universal principle. And everybody that goes up, gonna go up till Allah. I said, well, that's about it. And when the plug gets pulled, all of those things that were assets are now liabilities. They're finding graves in Canada and all over Native Americans that were killed up there. You find them all over, right? But that was the time of their ascendancy. And you couldn't stop them. USA, Canada, they're headed up. You can't stop them. That's the sunnah of Allah. And they're going to do the most miserable things that you can do, one human being can do to another. Then, Allah going to pull the plug on them. When Allah pull the plug, it's just like going down the drain. Around and around, down and out. Okay. Improper analysis of the time, place, and circumstances. Of what? Historical realities, the cycle of history patterns, fluctuations, changes, constant repetitions. It's repetitious. It's constant. You can set your watch by it. Well, you can't set your watch by it. That would deal with the exact time it's going to happen. But you can draw a picture of it. This is going to happen. Why? Because it happened before, over and over and over again. Who did it happen to? Everybody. Yeah. Constant repetitions, historical patterns, cycles in history, inability to mention personalities, okay. Willpower, knowledge, okay, all that's good. Now, this is still protracted, long range. But there's a semi-urgency to this. I call it semi-urgency because is it getting cold in here, or is it getting cold in you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets a little chilly. So what do I mean by semi-urgency? Before, we were not concerned as much about time. Why? Because it's a time of contentment and what have you, right? And we used it, and it didn't make no difference what happened around here. We just cruise right along, go about our business. Well, right now we're acting and talking the same subject, but a little bit different. So I call this semi-urgency, a mixture of protractedness and sabr. So this is a different area, a different time period. We're not in a hurry. We're not going to have fixed timetables, but we're going to have an idea of what we want to do in a certain time. Right? Why? Because this is it's the same place. Circumstances is different, right? The time is different. And we don't know when this all ends, like the acceleration of history. It's accelerated. The smallness of the planet. The planet is shrinking. The planet is shrinking. Years ago, it used to take months for news to come from around the world. Now, it comes the same time it's happening. It comes right to you. So you're living in a shrinking world. The time it took to get to those places, you can get there right now in a day. Yeah. In fact, you could leave one place on Monday, and you can get here on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're coming from way over in Asia and you come back over here flying, when you get back here, it'll be Sunday, and you left Monday over there. All right. Now, This urgency, semi-urgency, and sabr in a semi-protractedness is a judicious mix. This is not one thing now, this is a mixture. You're gonna have to, well, it's always been a mixture. We're gonna have to mix sabr, patience, constancy, long-range vision, right, with some urgency. That's why I call it a judicious mix. You have to be working with that. So, turn my case over to the surface kindness. Yeah. What about it? Don't be dumb as Rome, Britain. They looked like now they were idiots, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How come y'all couldn't pick that up? How could the British pound go from being worth $5 per dollar and go down to little to nothing? $1.15. Because Britain went off the gold standard. I mean, the standard of money changed from Britain, the global power at that time, to America. And America was on the gold standard, so everybody had to go with them. It was $32 an ounce at that time. During the Vietnam War, they was going broke, so they took, in '71, they took the dollar off the gold standard. I was overseas, so if one day I had $50,000 in my pocket, the next day it was worth $40,000 over there. That happened. 1971, that happened. That when they went off the